Hi everyone, it's me, Crafty Witch, and welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to continue where I left off with my other video. It's like many hours later. I need to buy some new battery packs for this camera because one battery just isn't cutting it, and it takes a few hours for it to charge. So it's a bit of a piss off. But anyway, and then the other thing too, it's so humid here. I'm having a hard time breathing. I've got asthma. I rarely have to use my inhalers, maybe once every other year or something like that, and I've had to use them today because it's just like I can't get enough oxygen into my lungs. So you're gonna hear that in that other video I made today as well as this one. But anyway, so once you bring your water to a boil and it turns color, so it gets to be as dark as this. Got light shining on it, kind of looks like root beer or something. Then what I do is I get a strainer, I put it into another pot, like a larger pot, and I dump the water and the sage leaves into that strainer. So the water goes through, the sage leaves are caught. I get a wooden spoon, I squish it down to drain as much of the water out of the leaves as I can. And then I put the leaves either in a bowl or on a plate, and then I'm going to take this out after and I'm going to put it outside in like a clean place and let it go back to Mother Earth instead of just throwing it out, because to me I think that would be disrespectful, and that's just something we've always done, is because we consider this to be a medicine, right? So we don't just want to throw it into the garbage. But you do whatever you feel is right. So then what my grandmother would do is she would get a jar. Typically it was glass. It would have a metal lid, like a iced tea jar. And then she would get a nail and a hammer, and she would puncture little holes like that into the lid with the nail. Yes, Jancy. And then she'd get plastic wrap, such as this. Now there's some holes in here. And then she would put it over top the jar, opening, and then she would seal it shut like that. So then that way it, you know, even if it's spilled over in the fridge or whatever, it wouldn't like spill all over the place. So the plastic wrap would still keep the sage water inside the jar. And then when you need to use it, you take the lid off, remove the plastic wrap, and then you got the little sprinkles, like little sprinkles, well, the little holes for sprinkling it. And then to protect your home, you go outside, and what we do is we start in the east and then we go clockwise around our house. And you want to sprinkle it as close to the ground and as close to the foundation as possible, not missing any areas. So you sprinkle the whole entire perimeter of your home. And if that means you got to climb behind hedges, then you got to climb behind hedges, or climb upstairs, or do whatever you need to do to get around the whole entire home. And if you have an attached garage, you got to include that in there as well. And then your home would be protected. We would do that depending on, like, the frequency would depend on what was happening. You can hear my cat eating, I'm sorry. So like if there was a lot of like paranormal type of activity, then we would do that more frequently. For sure, once or twice a year. There was a mosquito that just flew by. So yeah, it would really depend. If you feel that you need to do it more often, then do it more often. If you feel that once or twice a year is all you need, then so be it. Other uses for this, you can sprinkle it inside your home if you need to. Just keep in mind that it might stain like lighter carpets or even possibly paint. You can drink it, but also remember, if you're going to drink the sage water, that the sage you have used has been, you know, free of pesticides and chemicals and hasn't been picked near roadways or anything like that, that it's like clean, organic, if you will. And you can also sprinkle this inside your car, like on your floor mats. You can anoint your car so that your car is also protected. You can add it to your bath water. what else? Long ago they would do like sponge baths with this. So they would start at the top of the head and work their way down. If they would also like utilize sympathetic magic too with regards to healing. So let's say somebody sent some bad medicine or bad magic or whatever you want to call it to you, and it affected your left leg. Then they would work on your healthy leg. They would seal off the left leg so whatever was there couldn't travel everywhere else or spread. But then they would work on the healthy leg and visualize, and as they're working on that healthy leg and like rubbing that leg and washing it down with this stuff, they would visualize that being the left leg, you know, how it's healthy and you know, it's good and there's nothing wrong with that leg. They would visualize that for the affected leg while working on the healthy leg. Does that make sense? So they would use that for people that have been under like oppression or possessions, that type of thing. You can hear sirens. I live in a small town and it has to go off when my windows are open and I'm making a video. Anyway, in a case like that, we would start at the top and like make sure that all the hair was done. So like your hair would have to be let down and you would have to start from the top all the way down, and they would, you know, sponge bath like your face, your arms, your neck, and like your whole entire body, working the way down to your toes basically. Now it's so much easier just to add it to the bathtub and hop in the bath and make sure you submerge yourself and really get it like everywhere. Make sure your hair, especially your hair and your head, that you really kind of dunk yourself under the water so that you're completely submerged with the sage water in your bath. And if you want to add kind of an extra stronger dose of cleansing properties or protective properties to your bath, and in addition to the sage water, you can add like a handful of salt. So that's that. I just thought I would share that for you. Sorry for all the sirens and the mistakes and all that kind of stuff. It is what it is, right? So anyway, I hope you found this video a little bit useful. It's kind of different, and I want this to be more interactive for folks somehow. You know, I want to take you guys with me as I whip up a batch of sage water in the kitchen, or if I go to the cemetery and visit my family's graves, or I go and collect whatever it is I'm collecting from the wild or whatever. That's what my hopes are for this. I really hope to take you guys with me and have you guys come along for the ride and to share this journey. And if you guys have any suggestions for videos, that kind of thing, by all means, please let me know. I've written down a bunch of different topics that I want to do videos on, and I'm really excited and looking forward to kind of getting back into the groove, the editing of videos. Well, I've discovered that apparently there's an editor on YouTube, and so I'm gonna monkey around with that with some of these videos and just see how that goes. And once I eventually invest into a new computer, then I'll look at maybe getting some nicer software, that kind of thing. But in the meantime, I'm going to do that. And that's my rambling video for now. So you guys, wherever you may be, please have a wonderful, safe day, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I wish you nothing but the best. And that's all I have to say for now. Ciao.